Senator Rubio, what do you say to Floridians and others who want to travel to Cuba or do trade with Cuba and say they're missing out on money and people like you might be standing in their way?
Well, ultimately, we filed a bill that prevents travel that would allow money to go into the hands of the Cuban military. There are private homes in Cuba that people could stay in. You know, if people want to limit it to that. Number two, people do travel to Cuba now. There are all sorts of trips going on to Cuba. They're largely tourist visits. They're not cultural exchanges as they're called, but people do travel to Cuba all the time. At the end of the day, they just need to understand they are leaving, you know, what is the equivalent of millions of dollars into the hands of a Cuban regime, Cuban government-owned facilities. And second, they're trafficking in stolen goods. These are private properties. Over 6,000 U.S. citizens and/or American companies had over 6,000 properties were stolen and never compensated. You travel to Cuba, you stay in a government-owned hotel, which is all of them, you are trafficking in a stolen property.
What conditions must be set to lift the embargo?